The road to Super Bowl 45 begins tonight. The New Orleans Saints and Minnesota Vikings will get the NFL season started with a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. It's just one of the highlights of the kickoff weekend. Joining us now with a preview of the pro football season, Andrew Perloff, NFL staff writer for Sports Illustrated. Andrew, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I want to tell you about a big party that I went to earlier this year. It just happened to be in New Orleans. The Saints had just won the Super Bowl. Yeah, tell me about it. When a whole city shut down. Do you think they'll do it again this year?
Well, you know, a Super Bowl champ hasn't gotten back to the Super Bowl since the Patriots about 6 years ago now. In fact, no Super Bowl team has won a playoff game in 5 years. So the odds are against them, but I think this Saints team can do it. Drew Brees, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. Sean Payton, one of the best play-calling coaches in the league. I really think they have what it takes. I'm one of the few people who's picking the Saints to win the Super Bowl because most experts have moved off them, but I think they can do it again.
Saints and Vikings on the field tonight, season opener. Brett Favre, will this be the last season that we see him on the field?
I can guarantee he will retire. But will he stay retired? I think it is. I mean, every year I've said this, that his body has to be done. I think his body was in a lot of pain this year. But let's face it, they have a good chance. They outplayed the Saints in the NFC Championship game last year. Favre thinks he can do it, and I think he might be right. This is a very, very talented team. Probably the most talented team in the NFC. So if they go to the Super Bowl, I think Favre could possibly go out a winner.
Let's talk about the Steelers real quick. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, suspended for the first 4 games. When he comes back, the coach says he may not be the starter.
He's just sending a message to his quarterback. I mean, Dennis Dixon, who's filling in, he's a nice young player. Big Ben, they can't wait to get him out on the field. And that's a team everyone is overlooking because they are angry. And when the Steelers get angry, they do very well. Every year they go to the Super Bowl, we usually have them predicted like 6-10, 8-8, and they always come out of nowhere. And then when we say they're going to be good, they do nothing. So I really think the Steelers are a dangerous team this year.
Jets making a lot of headlines in the offseason. HBO Hard Knocks, they just signed Darrelle Revis. Are they going to live up to the hype this season?
I think they're trying to sell tickets with all this hype. I mean, they signed everybody. Santonio Holmes, right. Yeah, they have the new stadium with the PSLs. Their coach keeps telling everyone they're going to win the Super Bowl, so they better win it. Otherwise, Rex Ryan's going to look like a fool. They're good. I'm worried about Mark Sanchez, second-year quarterback. Really didn't do that much last year, played well in the playoffs. He has to take a huge step for them to be a Super Bowl team.
Rookies, anyone to look out for? One player in particular?
Well, it's obvious, the number 1 overall pick, Sam Bradford. He's got all the tools. If they can protect him at all, I think he's going to have a very nice season. I don't think they're going to be a winning team. Don't get me wrong. The Rams are not a good team. I think Sam Bradford is a star in the making, although he's going to have a couple bumps this year.
Any exciting players out there to look out for?
Well, they're all exciting. I mean, this is the NFL. You know, a lot of people are looking at Ray Rice on Baltimore, running back who had big numbers last year. And that's a lot of people like the Ravens to win it all. Ray Rice could be a huge star, maybe the next 2,000-yard running back. Last year we saw Chris Johnson do that. I think Rice might be the guy who steps into that role this year.
Let's talk about teams. Any particular teams that you see standing out, maybe going all the way?
You got to look at the Green Bay Packers. They lost to the Cardinals last year in a playoff game where they didn't really show up, but Aaron Rodgers, one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, I think he's the kind of leader that could take a team to a Super Bowl. And they have a solid defense, too. A lot of people are excited about the Packers, and for good reason. Now, they face the Vikings, I think, October 24th. I think those 2 teams who are vying for the NFC North could be vying for the whole NFC.
NFL Players Union boss saying now that there may be a lockout come March. What does that mean for the season? What are we looking at for the Super Bowl maybe next year?
Well, I think you're going to have a quiet season. I think there's some contract situations out there. Obviously, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning have contracts that need to be reworked. But I don't think that's going to get in the way of football. These guys like that are very professional, and they won't let it bother them. But I think next season we really could see a lockout. I think what's going to happen, most likely spring and summer, is going to be a lockout, so teams aren't going to be working out. But I think they'll find a way to get back on the field because, you know, the product has some issues. Right now there's 11 teams that could have blackouts. I mean, attendance is down. I think a lot of people are watching on TV, you know, Sunday Ticket. But I think people are not paying the big prices, so that's an issue. So I don't think the league wants to shut down play.
We'll have to see what happens this season. Did you think the Saints would win the Super Bowl last year?
Oh, of course. Are you kidding me? I didn't see anyone who thought they were going to win it last year.
We'll see what happens this year. Looking forward to it. Andrew Perloff from Sports Illustrated. Appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thanks a lot.